want people to understand that jumping on this live because what I want to do with these evening lives is it's going to be almost all females just sharing. Tabitha, you can go ahead and write a note down because so it's like I want to know, and you can actually start with not where you were, but where you are now. The good.
Yeah.
Did you ever see one of those movies where they show it and then they backtrack?
Right.
And so, so you can just even give us just what you want to share about where you're at in your world versus where you were, and what the ketones, the community, the lives, our conversations. I want people to understand what role or what got you there. And that's really just up to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
that's
for me,
go ahead.
Right now, as far as the physical goes, I'm down 17 pounds.
Congratulations.
I thank you. I just finished the reboot yesterday. I went 66 hours. I feel fantastic. Energy's through the roof, clarity's through the roof. I'm not grouchy. I can tolerate, stress better. I have a better mood. And then that's just the physical, right? Like for me, I think the biggest change for me has been the mental shift. And the mental shift, the mental shift more in the sense of I am starting to get rid of those limiting beliefs. I am starting to get rid of the negative self-talk. I am believing that I can do the things that I want to do, whether anybody else believes them or not.
Love that.
That is probably for me the biggest thing. And then, just leaning into the community and seeing that my story is not, it's unique, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like there's been other people that have experiences, similar to mine that can relate. And it's good to know that I'm not by myself in that situation. And, it's been super, I don't know how to even, the mental for me is the absolute biggest thing. That's what I like about the whole thing. I mean, obviously I want to get healthy and, be comfortable in my skin and all the whole thing, but I think that has to come with the mindset first. So for me, that's been the biggest change.
Yeah, I love that. And so, as I say, I imagine you would say or encourage people that if your mind, and I would even say your heart, aren't right, people, I don't care what recovery, I don't care what gym, I don't care what church, I don't care what work, I don't care what you go through, the chances of you succeeding are going to be phenomenally limited.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, that's true. That happened already. Like, part of my story, that happened already. This is my second go around, being consistent with the ketones and in the community and everything. And the first go around, I dropped weight quick. I lost 60 pounds right out the gate.
Nice.
Physically felt fantastic, but I didn't plug in and I didn't do the mental work or the mind shift change.
Yeah.
So
you didn't. I'll just, because you'll hear me, I'll interrupt you a little bit,
Yeah.
I want you to go because I want people, because I know someone's going, why do you think you didn't?
I think I was scared. I think literally terrified. I saw these things happening and I had to work through some of my shit, honestly. You know what I mean? I had to work through some of that. And I had to get to a place where I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I deserved better. And it took me a long time to get here. But, and it's getting stronger and stronger every day. But back then, the first go around, it was not that. For sure. Yeah.
What's helping it get stronger and stronger? Because I'm sure there's people who are already relating to what you're saying and they're looking for that something.
Right.
That will not only give them a boost on Monday, but it'll help them on Wednesday and help them on Friday. So what is helping you get stronger, strengthening your belief in yourself?
Doing, we do a thing together, you and I and other members of the community, our DIAs, what we call our DIAs, our daily intentional actions. I literally just had to get to a place where I said to myself, you know what? Nobody else is paying your bills. You cannot worry about what everybody else is thinking about you or what everybody else thinks. Oh my God, she's drinking the Kool-Aid. Like she's so far into it now. You cannot worry about what everybody else says. And I just had to do the actions. Like
Yeah.
I've plugged into the community and all of our trainings and calls and everything that we do. And it's the same thing that you hear over and over. Just do exactly what we tell you to do, and it will come the way that it's supposed to come.
Yeah,
Obviously,
say that. Now you interrupted again because when
yeah.
you say the community and you just labeled some of it, it might be interesting to share with some people. The community, you've got, like you said, Zooms.
Yep.
Obviously, this live we're doing. What else,
Mm-hmm.
for somebody who's wondering, comprises the community?
We do our KLPs. We have our Vegas event that's coming up.
Right.
Vegas for me is going to be, I already know, like I'm going to cry the entire time I'm there because it's going to be super, super emotional for me. And not in a bad way, obviously, but it's something that I've been looking for, that connection, that everything. So I know, and we have the ability to reach out to any single person. I can reach out to you, I can reach out to Justin, I can reach out directly to Michael or Michelle or Noel or whoever, whatever person you relate to, Cassie, Katie, whoever it is that you're comfortable with and that you can relate to. Everybody is there for each other and wants each other to win. And that's, you don't get that a lot anymore. So having that and having each other as resources is invaluable. So
yeah, I love that. I just want people to hear that because, so you mentioned the word community. That's just a broad, word.
Right.
People wonder, what does that really look like, more specifically. So I appreciate you sharing that piece. So very cool. I like that. And so maybe you even tell a little bit, you talked about your change. Why don't you tell them even a little bit about where you, and just as much as you want to tell, where did you come from, or where, what was it like before, and how did it limit your I don't know, maybe being a parent, maybe being a spouse, maybe being a friend, how did it limit you, and how are you now? What is it now allowing you to do?
Right. Before, I was in such a dark place. I think physically, obviously, I was, heavier than I am now. I've lost the 60, gained some back, lost 17 more. The number's not really an issue, but I physically feel better now. I sleep more than anything. I sleep, and that was a huge thing before. Great. Or lack thereof. But mentally, for me, I was in such a dark place that I hadn't given up, but I damn near should have. You know what I mean? Like I was there.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't say the words out loud. Yeah.
For sure. At the end of the rope,
Yeah. I didn't know how to pull myself out. I didn't even know at that time if I wanted to pull myself out of it. And it was, go to work, do the 9 to 5 every day, come home. Hopefully the kids don't need too much today because I'm not in the mood to do too much today. The things between my husband and I, our marriage, we've always had a great marriage, but there was no more excitement as far as a relationship together. It was doing the daily grind, taking care of the kids. We didn't make time for each other. We didn't make time for, our relationship. And I didn't care that we didn't, because I didn't care at all. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I just was surviving through day to day. Just surviving. I wasn't living. I literally was just surviving. And
wow.
the difference between that and now is, and even my husband will tell you, it's night and day. You know, I'm one that, we live in Washington State where it rains all the freaking time and the winters are awful. That I am one of those people that I cannot, I'm from Texas originally. I need the sun. The sun feeds my soul. And so it was hard. It's hard to adjust to that. You know, but now it's night and day. Like back then, I think about it now, about how sad and how angry at the world and how, you know, I blamed everything else but myself. And it was everybody else's fault but my own. And I had to figure out a way to get back to who I was and to be there for my kids, to be a better wife, to be a better friend, to be a better person. I didn't want to stay where I was. And I didn't even know that until I found all of this.
Well, and that's a great point. And so many of us have dug such a deep hole.
Yeah.
We just are oblivious, I guess maybe be the word, for where we're at. And so, you know, are they noticing, or what are your friends and stuff saying that are seeing you?
They notice. It's now, you know, the first go around, everybody noticed the physical. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, you look so great. You know, you look happy. You look awake. You know, you don't look so sad and tired all the time." This time, it's the mental. Right. They're like, "Wow, Tabitha, like you look really good. Like you look like you give a damn. You know what I mean? You look like you give a damn. You don't look tired and just drug, you know, like it's the life is back in my eyes too, not just my physical body, but my whole demeanor and everything." So
I love that. I love that. I completely love that. And, you know, and so if you had to share with someone, you know, who's in a spot and maybe just comes across this video and watches it, you know, what would you share with them as maybe like the first step? How would they, you know, if they're thinking that same thing, what allowed you to go, "I'm going to try it again"? And what would you say to someone who says, you know, that I'm wondering whether or not I should contact Tabitha and dig out of my hole? You know what?
I was scared in the beginning because I thought this would be one more thing that I tried and failed at.
Amen. That's so huge. That's huge for people to know. People, remember with your friends who say they don't want to.
Yes.
They're skeptical people because even though they don't like where they're at and they're just praying that nothing's going to remind them of that, I think, or no one's going to call them on their bullshit.
Yeah.
But people, everyone is looking for hope. Everyone is looking for something that they believe, and they're looking for that fire. What they're
and I think
afraid
now
of,
more than ever, like now more than ever.
And 100%. 100%.
I was scared because it was one more thing that I was going to try and fail at, or one more thing I was going to do and not see through to the end.
Right.
And when I drank it, or, you know, when I got involved in the community and started drinking ketones, like I lit on fire, like just literally, like day 3. I can tell you the exact moment that it happened. I remember what I was doing.
How many days was it?
3. It was the third day. And it was my second packet in the day. And I was up and I had cleaned my entire house. And before I realized it, I was like, what is happening? Like, and my husband came home and he's like, "Whoa, are you okay?" Like, and then he literally, and it's funny, I have a packet. He's like, "You sure it's just ketones? Like, are you sure there's nothing else in there?" I'm like, "Well, if there is, like, it's too late now." Like, you know,
that's amazing.
But I just had to find something. And the person that I signed up under is not even part of this anymore. For whatever reason, I don't even know. But, you know, I got plugged into the community. I knew I went to virtual.
Keto Academy?
Yeah, I went to Keto Academy, you know, and I'm learning all these things and you know the health benefits of it and everything. But like I said, I still had to make that mental switch. Like I
Right.
still had to make that mental switch. So I knew what Justin, like I've had several conversations with Justin and I had talked to Michael a couple times. You and I had never really had any conversations prior to me coming in this time. And I saw a post that Justin posted, and it was like, you know, he sent me a message and he said, Tabitha, he said, it took me 2 years before I realized what we had. He
Got
said,
it.
don't give up. He said, just, you know, do it at your pace, do what you can do. And the fact that even then, when I wasn't doing the work and I wasn't plugging in and doing, you know, taking care of me,
Right.
the fact that Justin still checked in on me and was like, hey, if you need anything, we're always here. Like,
Awesome.
that was probably the biggest thing for me. And I just jumped in and I was like, you know, we started talking about the event in Vegas, and I shot Michelle a message and I said, Michelle, I bought a ticket to Vegas.
I love that. I look forward to seeing you there.
So
what are you doing and telling your friends? What do your friends think? Are your friends joining you? Are they skeptical? Are they looking for hope?
I
What's
think
going
there's
on?
definitely some skeptics. I think there's, you know, I think people are crazy if they're not skeptics. You know what I mean? I
Amen.
think, yeah, being real, like you have to be kind of skeptical about something that
Yeah.
is it too good to be true type situation.
Amen.
But then I have some that have jumped in and, you know, they have seen the benefits. They were at a place in their life as well where I don't think the mental had quite shifted yet.
Right.
So now they're jumping back in with me and going, you know, full force. And I think to me, just to have somebody witness us go through that and to be able to say, we see you, we see what you're doing, is
Right.
probably bigger than, you know, that means more than just somebody buying a box and not doing anything with it.
Yeah, it's everything.
So,
That's what I tell people all the time. It's not about a box.
yeah,
Box don't do it.
exactly.
It's about
Yeah,
a box, using it properly, transformation, getting involved in the
yeah,
community, and then helping others. Because
yeah,
people, like you said, we're living in a world, whether it's coming out of COVID or heading into a recession or whatever it is, cloudy skies, people are looking for hope.
yeah.
They're looking for someone, some group they can believe in.
Yeah.
Just share. Just share your transformation.
You know, the crazy thing for me is I went from being active duty military to a stay-at-home mom. And, you know, in the military, you have a sense of camaraderie and brother sisterhood
Right.
type situation that,
Right.
you know, you don't experience probably anywhere else. Like, not like you do in the military.
For sure.
And then coming into this community, it's damn near close. Like, you want to see the people around you do well just as you do. You know what I mean? It's
Right. Oh, it's huge.
yeah.
And you got to push into that community. You got to let the community welcome you and, you know, give you a big hug. And, you know, it's a two-way street for sure, because a lot of times the community's only going to be as good as you allow it to be.
Exactly.
But that's a lot of things in life, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell people it's not the Bible, it's not the community, it's not your gym, it's not your whatever. It's that we're not submitting to allow the community to welcome us and help us.
Yeah. And that's the struggle, right? Because how many of us, you know, struggle asking for help in general, you know, and God forbid you have to lean on somebody else, you know.
Right.
That's been probably one of my biggest things that I've learned, is that it is okay. It is okay for me to shoot you a text and say, James Rice, I'm fucking struggling today. I'm going to need you to get in my ear.
You got to. That's relationships. And you need to, I mean, you know, as kids, we seek out the safe places and friends and hobbies and whatever. And as adults, we kind of stop doing that. I think we feel like we're stuck. This is all better. And I think we have a supplement. I think we have a community that people would just give us a chance, and then again be open with their heart to allowing the community to come in, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised at what we're capable of doing. There's life's not as hard as they feel it is. We just aren't allowing it, be amazing any day. We've lost that spark. So,
and it's crazy because I never in a million years would have ever thought that. Like the mental change for me is, I'm telling you, the biggest thing. That's the biggest, by far the biggest thing for me.
I love
because
that.
I was raised to believe you're strong, you're independent, you don't need anybody, you don't need a man, you don't need this, you don't need that, you take care of you.
Right.
I would have never in a million years ever thought to myself, oh my God, I cannot wait until the next Zoom. Like, I cannot wait until we get to hang out in Vegas, or you know what I mean?
I love that.
It's completely changed everything for me.
Yeah, I love
changed
that.
everything.
Yeah, and I look forward to Vegas for sure. I mean, that's the best part about it is the people. And the funny thing is, if again, like I said, if people would just allow it and believe, I think they would be amazed at what they're able to do and how good life is. But when you get locked in it and you're just resistant to everything because you've been beaten, burnt, and what have you,
yeah,
then we just turn that off. And I understand it. One thing I had to do in my life was I had to realize that, like, it's not bad. It's who I was doing it with was bad.
Right.
Or that experience was bad.
Yeah.
And so I was the one who needed to be open. Again, still have boundaries and my safe places. But if you don't open yourself up to letting some people in and some ideas in, you're going to stay in the zone of where you were. So
yeah.
I completely appreciate that you've done it. And that you're doing it. We've been on here about 30 minutes minus who knows what kind of start. But what I'd like to do is we wrap it up, and we can always go live again. We go live every week and just talk about something that's impacted your day, or a question that someone has, or a concern that someone has, and we can go over that. We can break it down and do like very specific nuggets, because if you've got the question, they that have the question too.
Right, for sure.
For your friends who are going to watch this and see that, what do you want to leave them with?
I just want to leave them with, you guys be open to the possibility of big, huge.
I love that. Huge. Just the possibility even. Just the possibility of something other than what you have. And
it's if you let it and you can open yourself to it, like there's no limit. There's no ceiling. There's no cap.
I love that.
And I'm not saying financial. I'm talking about like the emotional, like it's unreal. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's why, again, think about what happened here. If you wouldn't have asked about if I would have invited, then there'd be no live. If you hadn't accepted, there would be no live. Could have jumped on, fumbled around with the software, get discouraged. But I knew, and if the community improvements taught me one thing, that on the other side of accepting, in the middle, first of all, is a couple bridges and a little bit of fumbling. But on the other side is an amazing live, or an amazing event, or an amazing whatever. But now we have this documented that we can break it up and we can share with other people. But if we would have never invited, accepted, and been willing to fumble through this technology, that's what people are not doing.
But even the fumble, James, like that's representation of my life. Like really, let's be real.
It is for sure. It is for sure. I've got more between the stuff I have and the stuff I did, and where I am and where I wasn't, and relationships and all that. There's a lot of fumbling in there, people. Be willing to fumble a little. And if you're fumbling with the right person on the other side of it, in this case, Tabitha, is amazing. So I appreciate you jumping on. I hope we'll do it again. I would encourage you to go live with your people and just share, because people are looking for hope.
I know.
They've all been to the carnival and they've seen the games and they don't believe it can happen. and they're trying to tell their kids to hope and go and you can do whatever. But adults, you're not doing it. Okay? But I understand. I was skeptical too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure either. But I'm just telling you, it worked for me, and I encourage you to give it a try. That's all I would tell people. Because on the other side of it, there's another Tabitha between some of those no's. But remember, Tabitha, there's no such thing as a no. There's just I don't feel safe enough yet.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
They're just saying I don't feel safe enough, and make sure you tell them I felt the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
I felt the same way. So we'll jump off. I appreciate you. I enjoy our, the lives we're on, the Zooms we're on, whatever we're on. I look forward to, seeing you in Vegas and hanging out for sure.
Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it more than you know.
Oh, it's my pleasure completely. Like when you asked, I was like, yes, let's rock and roll. I appreciate you. Take care. Have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.